Hello everyone, and we are back at the lab. So, this is chapter 2 and thank you for watching chapter 1. I hope you liked it. So, this time the chapter 2 rolls about the typesetting that goes into making of an Indian invite. And what are these Indian invites? So, these are the nostalgic portion which I am going to introduce you all, and this introduction would be not just with the typesetting, but also what are the elements that goes into the printing. So, something like ornaments, borders, copper blocks, and I also have bronze ones. So, let us begin and we do some typesetting. Okay, so this is the galley we gonna use, and this is my ornamental galley. I have two over here. I'm gonna pull it out, and I'm pretty sure I would need help of Rohit. Can you please help me? Okay, it's heavy, huh?
Very. I was not built for this, but here we are.
Awesome. So, I have one galley over here and I am going to keep one over there right now. Let us begin with this. So, before we start, I am going to give a little bit of a tip on, or maybe the way that you should, whenever working with a letterpress, and because right now the situation is little bit tense, so it's always good to wear a mask, gloves, apron and closed shoes, which helps you not to get injured, and also it's good to play safe. Yeah, all right. So let's start with our typesetting. Okay, so we're going to begin with our first composition here, and I'm going to start with preparing a invite. So for an invite, it is of course a wedding invite. So for an invite, we would need, of course, some beautiful lamps which can go on the corner or on the edge of the card. We would have a Om symbol. Well, it is always good to start with God's name and also a swastika symbol, because this is also a very religious symbol for Hindu card, because of course we are making invite for a Hindu wedding. And I have ornaments here. These are like kind of like florons. I want to use them as a border, and maybe in between some little elements like this. So let's see how our invite turns out with this little knickknacks. Okay, so to start the composition, this time I am not going to use the galley, but I am going to use this little frame I have here. I am going to make my composition on this plate. Also, I would like to add here is this experience is all about how the Indian printers and the DTP operators, or maybe the printers, the offset printers or the screen printers, might be working with the same scenario, because apparently there is no galley or there is no typeset happening before. It's just everything on the plate. So let's just try and create something like that and see how I'm going to achieve that. So before I begin, I'm just going to stick this board with my tape here so it won't move. Okay, so I think this is fine. I do not need to move much. This is perfect. Okay, so let's bring out some sorts. So also I would like to add here is I am making an Indian invite. That means I need names of the girls and the boys. So So my girl name would be Meena, which is the most common Indian name I could suggest, and my boy name would be Vijay, which is always reminds me of some kind of a Bollywood a humorous name, because in every other Bollywood movie Vijay is the most common name. So yeah, I'm going to use those ones. Now let's begin framing the invite. So of course I am making it for Meena and Vijay, and I want my invite to look pretty. So hopefully many of the people would come to their wedding with lots of money. So for my border I am using this floron, and if you will notice, this is the top part of the design, and then this is where the key is. So the key right now is not essential for me because I am doing a typesetting, but it's always important because this key should always be set towards you. That's how it works in the machine, I mean when you are printing it. So what happens is, when you are looking at this floron is going this side. So when you will print it, it will go this side, right? So I am going to turn this all and keep it as a nice little frame like this all the way. And if you will see, if you will notice, I have the same floron as an opposite as well. So this is my left hand side and this is my right hand side. Both borders are coming on the border of on the sides of each other. So, and you can always notice it with this little hinge here what you have. That's the key, and you know how to set it then. Yeah. So see, you can never put this key like this, otherwise this will fit like that. Of course you can do an experiment, but right now we are going to set all this all in the straight line. Keep this one very delicate. So you will see the difference when we will print it. This will be very bold and this will be very delicate. So in that sense I can also play with something which is almost comparison to this, which has to be a little bit bold. So how about if we keep some very delicate lines like this, then it might work. No, it's not. I think I'll just use the floron. Okay, so now a border is ready. I have just placed it all over on the bottom and on the sides. On the top I am going to keep it open. I might leave with one little dot here. Maybe a floron will look nice, one here and one here, and then I will have the lamps coming out of that floron. And I am going to keep my bride and the groom name in the middle. This little section I have divided just to give an information as an hierarchy as well, that to give an importance for the bride and groom name, and then rest of the information can sit behind here. So to arrange the names here in that little space, I am going to use Rockwell Condense 30 point. Because they are condensed and it is Rockwell, it's one of my favorites. Now I have sorted out Vijay weds Meena. Well, anything works actually. So let me keep my Vijay here. Oh voila, look at that, what an alignment with the Om. Sometimes magic happens, and I'm going to keep my weds here, I'm going to keep Meena here. And if you will see here, I haven't kept any leading in between. That's where the composition starts happening. So this is a very rough idea where I want to see my letters and my ornaments as well. So interesting bit here to understand is that when we are working on the computer, we do not see all these things. What we see is when we start making a composition on the computer, it's a very different experience, because you are not touching a leading, you are not touching a letter, you are not having an ornament here. But because you are doing it everything manually here, you are also be conscious about the space and the leading what you want to keep when you are making a composition. So now I have to put some leadings, I have to put some space here, so then and nothing gets merged as well, right. So let me find out if I can set it up according to the space I wanted. Okay, so we are ready with our placement. We know what is going on our plate. So I am going to put some leading into it, so that helps to hold our composition. Now let's put it on the side as well, and also in between too. So in between I was thinking to use these spaces, which works perfectly fine, because this space would actually help us to know how much area we need to count at the center when you are moving ahead. So I am going to take this out for now. And put the furniture here. So these are the space. You can also say the tabs. I am keeping a lot of tabs here. Wow, I need all smaller than what it is. Okay, there you go. Let's keep our name now, and let's keep one more leading. Let's take a thicker one. Now here the interesting bit about the leading is that they come in various sizes, right, and you might be knowing this term from the digital as well. Just continue then. Okay, so I was thinking to keep little space here and then starts the wedding part of it. So let me use one thick size of leading. This is a little bit thinner, or we can always use space, a bigger space, so then we have a nice distance. To do that, let's start with the leading and then put a space. Yeah. So incidentally I put Vijay from the left hand side, but it should start from the right hand side because it's going to do a mirror print. So otherwise it will be on a wrong side. So always start the letter from the right hand side when you are typesetting it. Okay, so by mistake I put a P instead of a D. So and now I could not find a letter D. So I am going to change this wedge from the letter to a nice little design I have here, and I am going to put a very delicate floron here, and yeah, I mean it works as well. Oops, I should be careful. I need to see the B and D theory. Yeah. So now let me add one more leading here and finish my typesetting. And now I am going to fill this place with more ornaments. And this is the most funniest wedding I could find. So because it's a wedding, there is a hand coming next to just as a handshake. So I am going to keep it here. Yeah, and rest I will fill it with little designs. So I am trying to make it as ornamental as I can, because I want to make a very heavy garnished decorative wedding card, and I hope that's what it solves the purpose. Now if you would have noticed here, I am using all these different point size. Normally in the ornaments the point size are actually absent, but I am trying to find the closest one, so we do not struggle much. Okay, so our wedding is ready. One invite is ready. As you can see, it's just full of ornaments, and that exactly how I wanted. And we have the importance to Vijay and Meena too. So, the next step would be that how we will fix this little joints here, and those are the crucial points of the composition, because that is where the spacing helps us to fit the composition, right. Thank you, and thank you for watching. We will meet next week with episode number 2.